right, everyone. Welcome to the crew of Bass 365 presented by Blazer Boats. Well, we've had a very eventful week this week with Team Blazer really knocking it out up at Cayuga. We got Jason Lambert. He's out at Eufaula for the Bass Opens. And now Spencer and Cody's moved on to the Potomac River. Well, guys, looks like Cayuga is going to be something to talk about for a while. Back in 2021, we had kind of a similar event up north with BPT, smallmouth bedding, and there's been a lot of controversy out there about some of the rules and understanding the rules and stuff. So we're going to talk about that stuff tonight. But first of all, we're going to get to Cody and Spencer and Zach. All those guys made the knockout round. Spencer ended up making it to the championship round and finishing second. So, Birds, man, we're going to start off with you, buddy.
Awesome.
You did something a little different than everybody else up there and made it to the knockout round. Tell us what you had going on at Cayuga.
Oh, yeah. I got lucky like usual. I didn't have a real good practice.
You get lucky a damn lot, son.
Yeah, I legit do. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I talked to Cody several times, but I wasn't catching them very good. I could see some fish, but I wasn't able to get them to bite, and obviously I couldn't see the smallmouth that everybody was able to catch. And I got lucky, and I pulled up on one of the places that I saw a bunch of fish, and I just stayed way off of them, made real long cast, and I was able to get, I think, 7 of them to bite the first day for like 22 pounds. And second day I got 5 or 6 bites for almost 21. And then the knockout round, I started on them. They didn't want to bite. I couldn't really get them to cooperate. I didn't see many of them, so I ran around and I caught a big one on a frog under a dock, and I had another opportunity at a big one, probably a 6 or 7 pound largemouth that ate my frog, but didn't quite get it in good enough. I mean, I saw her come up. She was just one of those come up behind it and kind of suck it under, and the only thing I could see the frog plain as day, as clear as it was, and she didn't have it. She just had the tail, so I watched her swim away with it. She never did suck it in, so I waited until she blew it out, and I came back an hour later, and I skipped a wacky worm in there. She bit it. I let her swim with it for a second. I set the hook, and she pulled my Senko off. So I did as good as I could that last day. I rolled back to my starting hole, and I could see them late in the day, and I ended up catching almost, a little shy of 22 again. But that was all I could muster up. It was a good tournament for me for points and stuff like that. So I was happy with it. Made knockout round, got good points, got right there on that verge of being in Red Crest, the qualification. So we're going in the right direction. We've got a lot of good momentum going now.
Awesome, man. It's sad when you catch 21, 22 pounds a day and you go home, right?
It's unbelievable. That place is incredible. I never would have thought I could go somewhere and catch almost 22, 21, and almost 22 and still finish 27. It doesn't even sound realistic. But and guys are catching 27 to 30 pounds of smallmouth. There you go.
Yep. So you're not hanging out with the other guys at the Potomac. You didn't want any of that punishment, right?
Nah.
No. Well, Cody, you made the knockout round and almost made the championship round. Watching live, man, that last hour or two, you just kind of looked like you felt really deflated because you had caught the crap out of them and just couldn't get that other kicker to get you over. Cody's got mic issues.
Yeah. I'm in Myers truck trying to back his shit up, and he's on the podcast.
All right.
Cody's got that Virginia's or.
I got the Virginia service, some Ricky's hometown here.
There you go.
No, man. Hey, what a.
He's got to stay in one spot.
You just
Somebody in his truck, and he keeps going to Bluetooth, I guess.
Uh-oh. He totally
All
disappeared.
right.
There he is.
all right. How about now? Sorry,
There
guys.
he is. There he is.
All right. Well, I'm back. Hey, so let me start by saying, like, say, I talked to Zach at practice, and you could see all these giant largemouths swimming around in Lake Cayuga.
All right, Spencer, how was your week?
Yeah. Let's roll
I
him
don't know
over.
what that is, but it's funny.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got somebody backing his truck up. and
Get
going
something.
to
Somebody said
Bluetooth.
something about get that off my leg. I'm like, that's pretty awesome.
Sounds like Kristen on the speaker watch back talking in the background.
Hey, is that Tristan talking?
There we go.
Oh my gosh! All right, so let me clue you in. Tristan McCormick just backed my truck in so I can be on this podcast. Hopefully, he turns this thing off.
You're gonna get him infected.
Ay. He loves that blazer up there. So hopefully it doesn't interrupt again. But yeah, hey, practice for me on Cayuga. I thought I was going to do a lot of largemouth fishing. Ended up finding a couple bedfish and went down there the first day. You know, I fished close to Spencer. You know, I saw him on the second day, knockout round. And I had an absolutely incredible first day. I caught 26-11. I mean, unbelievable to be able to catch and cull 5-pound smallmouth. I mean, I can honestly say I've never done that. Fished Lake Champlain before, fished St. Clair, St. Lawrence, all these great smallmouth fisheries. That was probably the best smallmouth day other than one lake in Idaho that I've ever had. And, you know, the second day I went out and I caught like 21 pounds and, you know, looked and found a lot and made the knockout round. And that knockout round I had
Bye, Cody.
incredible, and missed the top 10. So finished 12th with 25-11. And honestly, that was one of those tournaments for me where I wasn't even upset because you're like, how do you get upset with 25 pounds of smallmouth and you miss it? So unbelievable place, unbelievable event. Spencer crushed them. Guys were catching close to 30-pound bags. I never saw a 6-pounder. I had on that knockout round, I found 4 new 5-pound smallmouth that moved up, and they were 1 flippers. It was awesome, and dude, I can't wait to go back there. I love that place.
Awesome. Well, Spencer, you finished second. You had a hell of a tournament. What all do you have going on out there? I watched a lot of it.
Yeah, I was catching them all sight fishing. I mean, I spent this first morning of practice. I started down at the largemouth end because that was close to the house where we were staying, so that's where I launched. Caught like a 5-pound largemouth on my second cast that morning with a chatterbait, and thought that was just going to be the deal, you know. And I did it for probably another 2 hours and caught 6 or 7 pickerel and a couple more, you know, like 4-pound largemouth, but never could really dial in anything special with it. Ended up going there knowing I was going to probably, you know, smallmouth fish. That's what I wanted to do, what I like to do. And so once the sun got up, I went down south to see if I could see some swimming around. I knew that they were probably spawning because I'd spent 2 days prior before Cayuga practice started on Seneca, and they were spawning there big time. So I figured that they'd be spawning on Cayuga, considering there's only about 8 to 10 miles of land between the two of them. And the first smallmouth I found was nearly a 7-pounder, and it was like the second dock I come to, and she was spawning kind of on a boat lift deal. And I ended up seeing 8 or 10 more down that stretch, and then the wind got up so bad I just couldn't look anymore. And so I come back up north for about 2 or 3 hours and got on a pretty good largemouth deal, skipping a wacky Cinco under boat docks, you know, catching some 4-pounders, an occasional 5, but there was just a lot of really big ones swimming around up there. You could see them under the boat docks and stuff. And I tried to fish out in that grass out in the middle, but there was a lot of guys just packed up there because the wind had gotten up so bad and it was getting frustrating. So I decided to load up and drive all the way down to Ithaca about 2 o'clock that day because I was getting really frustrated and didn't want to get a negative mindset on it. So I drove 40 miles down to Ithaca and caught a 6-pound largemouth down there right off the bat, skipping docks. And I happened to pull over on a stretch of rock where a lot of it went down at in the tournament for smallmouth fishing over around the railroad tracks. And I couldn't see because the wind was blowing really hard. There was probably 3-footers rolling in on this stretch, so you couldn't see any fish whatsoever. But I was taking an Ed rig and just pitching it down the edges of these rocks, and I caught, like a 6-pounder and 2 almost 5.5s doing that. And I could tell the way they had bit and as shallow as they were that they were more than likely on beds. And that was kind of all I needed to see. And so the second day we kind of had a break in the wind, and I looked the entire day from start to finish, and I marked like 65 smallmouth on beds, and thought most of them were probably 4.5-pounders. And a lot of them were, but a lot of them were also 5.5-pounders, and I didn't really find that out until the first day of the tournament when you started running some of these fish. The first one I started on, I caught was a 6.3, and I thought the fish was like a 412 to a 5-pounder. I didn't know she was going to be a 6-pounder. And so that's just kind of how it went for me. I mean, they were a lot bigger. It seemed like the ones shallow looked a lot smaller than they actually were, and the ones deeper looked a lot bigger than they actually were. It's kind of a weird deal, and the really black smallmouth looked huge, and they wouldn't be that big. They'd be like 4.5-pounders. So, you had to go through a lot of fish and catch them. And so basically the second day of the tournament and my qualifying day, I had 26-1, I think it was the first day. And the second day, I think I had 24-12 or something. But the second day and the knockout round day, I mainly just went through a lot of fish. I ran pretty much every fish I had marked. I looked for a lot of new fish, and I went through them, catching them, so I could figure out which ones were the ones I would want to come back and catch the next day, because you really didn't know how big they were until you caught them, because they were just that deceiving. I mean, you might think it was a 4.5, and it'd be a 5.5 to a 6. So that's kind of what I did, and I kind of narrowed it down to my best 10 I had going into the knockout and the championship round day. And that some of them left, but most of them stayed. And that's pretty much what I did. The knockout and championship round day is just cycle through my best 7 to 10 smallmouth.
Well, it was definitely a different event for sure. It looked like it was a lot of freaking fun, for one thing. But one thing that you're seeing out there a lot right now on social media is, I think there were some anglers, I think, were a little confused on the rules. I think maybe MLF should have done a better job at explaining some of the catch rules for the tournament. I know you guys were allowed to catch a fish one time visually, sight fishing, but if you fish that area again, not sight fishing, then I guess the reason you could catch it again is because you couldn't prove that it was exactly the same fish. They went through that. What lake was that at in 21, Lambert? Were y'all up there?
St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence.
Yeah, St. Lawrence River.
We all thought that maybe they wouldn't go down that route again because there was so much backlash. And, a lot of the anglers were catching backlash for it, but you guys were just there following the rules that you were given. And now a lot of you guys are catching a lot of backlash from people on social media and TikTok especially. And that's something I want to kind of clarify tonight. Spencer, you've got a guy, you and Mac Becker got a guy out on TikTok that's just blowing you guys up and just trying to destroy you. And you haven't done anything wrong. You're you followed the rules. He's giving you a hard time about one of the fish catches that your back's actually to the camera, so the camera can't see it, but your marshal's standing right to your right, looking right at you. And you pull this fish overboard, and you can physically see your arm go up and make this motion and then lay a bait down on the deck. So I'm assuming at that point you're taking a hook out of the mouth, and your marshal's standing right here beside you with the scale looking at you. So
Yeah.
if that fish wasn't hooked in the mouth, I would expect the marshal to say that that catch doesn't count. So by seeing what I seen, you were taking a hook out of the mouth and laying it on the rod locker. Your marshal's looking at it. So to me, it's a legal catch. And then the
Yeah,
other one
it was
was,
go ahead.
you know, the other one was I was watching at the time this happened, and you were setting back off a dock. I'd say 20 yards. 15, 20 yards is what it looked like on the camera. So you weren't sight fishing this dock. You skipped the Ned rig up there, and you caught a fish. And you had a hell of a time getting the fish pinned upside the boat. And when you come up, you have a hook through your finger with a Ned rig on it and a fish in your hand. And everybody's giving you a hard time on that one because they couldn't see if it was hooked in the mouth. But being hooked in the mouth only matters when you're sight fishing. And this guy, he cut that video and only showed the portion you're setting into this fish and reeling it. He didn't show the part of the video where you're actually casting up there and not sight fishing. So you're catching hell from this guy. And man, this is getting out of control with social media and TikTok. People are trying to destroy people's careers and lives just so they can get a few more views and monetize their TikTok. But at the same time, okay, so they're monetizing their TikTok and they're making $300 a month off of this content they're putting out there, but they're trying to destroy people's careers and lives. And man, enough's enough. I know that
guy don't make shit off of TikTok. He's just running.
Well, he's got 45,000 followers, but I wouldn't think he made anything either. All of his content's pretty horrible. But I know you were approached by Daniel, you and all several other guys to review things that people had already reported to the tournament director before the tournament was over. And those two fish catches were strange. They were the things that were reported, and you reviewed it with MLF, and everything was deemed good. And now there's a guy out there just trying to smear you through the mud so he can get a few views.
Well,
go ahead and tell your side of this, Spencer. I mean, you were there. You were the one seeing it better than all of us.
Yeah, it's really a sad thing, honestly, because if I was on the outside looking in and wasn't there, I could totally understand where I could be bashed from it. The first one makes absolutely no sense to me because of the fact I literally unhooked the fish over the side of the boat. And, I've watched a little of the live since because I had to drive 7 hours down here to Potomac yesterday from Cayuga after I dropped my wife off at the airport. And I mean, hats off to a lot of guys like Cody and everybody, really. They were way more diligent than I was on saying in the mouth every single time. But I guess, I take it for granted that, I mean, when I bring the fish over the side of the boat, any person with two eyeballs can tell the fish is hooked in the mouth. I mean, it was obvious. I was using a bright chartreuse baby Z2 in siren color. I mean, chartreuse is all get out. There's no mistaking it's in the mouth. And I mean, me and my boat official every day had an understanding that if there was any discrepancy at all of where my fish was hooked or how I caught it, that it would be called out immediately. And it was one of them deals where it was super obvious every fish I caught was hooked in the mouth, except for those two. And that first one was one of them deals where I could see the fish, but I couldn't see her all that well. I could just see her move every now and then. It was kind of low light conditions, but I was visibly sight fishing that fish. That was a fish that would be considered 100% a sight fish. And I'd pitched up there multiple times, already had that fish to bite. I'd caught her the day before. I knew what she weighed. And I pitched up there about the fourth time and got her to bite it. Took the fish, got her out there to the boat. She's, first time she had been caught that day. I mean, this fish was getting caught 8 or 10 times a day. I mean, just let's be honest, she was. And it was one of them deals where she was hot that morning. I got her out there at the boat. I mean, you can see her on the video. She comes up and jumps right in front of the dang trolling motor. Not a foul hook fish. Foul hook fish don't jump like that. But she comes up and jumps. She runs by the boat. I mean, you can see my bait sitting right there in the corner of her mouth. And I get her out here to the boat. And, not making excuses on anything, but these blazers, they cut underneath pretty quickly. And them smallmouth are slimy creatures and they never give up. I mean, they're constantly trying to get away from you. And it's hard when they're 18.5 inches long and they're 10 inches tall. I mean, for guys that don't ever catch a northern smallmouth, it's not like a smallmouth you catch on Wheeler or Pickwick. I mean, they're not 21 inches long and 8 inches tall, I mean, these fish are built like cinder blocks up here up north. And I get her pegged against the side of the boat and I reach over, and nothing about any of that to me looks fishy other than the fact it takes me just a couple extra seconds to get my fingers in her mouth. I pull her over the side of the boat and clearly unhook her and lay my bait down or drop my bait on my rod box. My boat official can see it plain as day that I pull the hook out of the corner of the fish's mouth. She was barely skin hooked right here in the corner of the mouth, and I unhook her and lay it there. No issue. The second one, I could see where a lot of people would watch it and say something was fishy about that. 100% from the outside looking in, you can watch and you can say, yeah, I don't know about that. But the whole thing about that fish catch is that is a boat dock that the second day of practice, I'm going down this bank and I skip a chatterbait up under this dock and I catch a smallmouth that weighs 522 and there's 3 more with her bigger than she is. And I go back fish in the knockout round. I go back to this dock where I'd seen them 4 smallmouth, caught the 522 and seen the 3 other ones bigger than her. And first skip under there, I catch a 511 and there's like a 7-pound largemouth with her and another big smallmouth. And I obviously on camera make multiple more casts under this dock with a wacky and my net and a drop shot and never get another bite and I leave. So the second day, which is a championship round day, I pull up to this dock. I make multiple casts and casting under it with a Ned rig. Finally get a fish to bite. Get the fish out there. I am in no way, shape, or form do I have a clue if there's even a bass under this dock. I just know that there had been. It was a dock that had multiple big smallmouth under it and one really big largemouth. And it was in my milk run, and that's when I pulled up there once the sun got up good and high, and I thought they might be under it. Skipped up under there, got this fish to bite. I mean, I was clearly well away from the dock, and like I said, never had a clue if there was a bass under there, never visually saw one or anything at any point in time. And I get this fish out the boat, and I grab a hold of her, and I pin them next to the boat, and I'm going to explain that too, because I didn't realize after watching live, I noticed a lot of guys were grabbing these smallmouth and bear hugging them to their body and pulling them over. I thought that was a 2-minute fish landing violation. I had no clue that we were able to do that. And I'm not going to grab a smallmouth and balance her in my hand like this, because the only 2 I tried to do that to this week, they ended up flopping. As soon as I pull them over, gun will hit the floor, and I got a 2-minute fish landing violation. So I always, and I've done it in every smallmouth tournament I've ever fished in that we weren't allowed to use the nets. And I did it at Sturgeon Bay. You can go back and watch footage now. And I always bottom side of my boat, and then I reach over with my right hand and get my thumb or whatever in their mouth, and get a good grip with my fingers under their gills, and I hold them where there's no way they can get away from me before I pull them over the gun on the boat, because I want no fish landing violations at all. This smallmouth, I pin her against the boat. I reach over to get her, and when I do, she tries to get away from me, and instead of having her behind the gills in the better part of her body, I now have her like behind the dorsal fins on top of her back. And so I've got her by the head, trying to push her back into my hand before she gets away. And in the process, I'm trying to run my fingers into her mouth to get a good grip on her. And in the process, I run my pointer finger straight into my Ned rig hook, bury it up in my finger. The fish comes off and all of it. And it looks like I unhooked the fish under the gunnel of the boat and brought it over the side and waited. Well, for one, the fish was 110% hooked in the mouth. Barely, but she was hooked inside the mouth. And for 2, I never sight fished the fish. I had no clue the fish was even there. So it wouldn't have mattered even if she had been hooked in the belly or in the back or in the head or anything. It's no different than skipping a jig under a dock in September, October, and you get a thump and set the hook, and you got a 5-pounder foul hook. You don't have to turn that fish back. That fish counts, because you weren't visually fishing for that fish. And it was the same thing there, but the fish was still out anyways. So it was a bad deal. It looks bad on camera because people don't see the entire thing. They don't know the whole story behind it. I mean, everything about it was just kind of a screwy deal. They see that all these big smallmouth are being caught off beds, and they just assume that every one of them that gets caught is being caught off a bed, when in reality, probably 20% of the fish I weighed in, I never saw. I knew that there was one up there in that area or around, but I'm throwing it blindly, just throwing it light areas and waiting to feel it go bump and start swimming off. And every smallmouth I caught except for 2 had it in the mouth, and both of those that didn't have it in the mouth I caught on camera. One of them was hooked in the back, one of them was hooked under the chin. They both visibly showed to the camera. I unhooked them, and both of them would have helped me at the time. And I unhooked them and dropped them right back over the side of the boat and never weighed them in. And it's just ridiculous because there's no reason, there was no benefit to me trying to get away with unhooking them and doing that, because Cody knows he was down there fishing them. You could literally let them go and come back 10 minutes later and you could have caught them again. So what benefit am I going to get by trying to sneak a hook out of one to weigh it in? I mean, you could take that fish the first day, if they disqualified that fish the first day that they want to say that I did that to, and the fish the second day, tournament results are the exact same. I still finished second. So it's completely irrelevant. But what sucks about it all is the fact that my integrity is being questioned. Somebody is out there saying that I cheated, and in no way, shape, or form would I ever do something like that. Have I ever done something like that? And when Daniel approached me about it, we watched the video together and went through it, and he asked me what was going on. I told him, and he said, I don't see anything fishy with the video at all in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe you did anything shady. And we went on about that. And then about 10 minutes later, I went back up and talked to him some more. And I said, look, man, if this is going to be an issue, I'd rather you go ahead and just DQ me now. Don't give me a check. Give me 0 points. And let's clear my name of this altogether, because I don't want second place and $45,000 if somebody's going to be saying that I cheated to earn it, because that is not at all what happened. And so it's just not worth it to me. I mean, I worked too hard to get back to where I'm at. I mean, I busted my balls to get back to this point, and the last thing I'm going to do is jeopardize any of that by doing something as stupid as trying to unhook a fish under the boat to keep the world from seeing. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I mean, I know that the guys out there on the Bass Pro Tour went through that a couple years ago with somebody, and that's a shame that anybody would do that. But I mean, it's plain as day. The fish is coming through the water sideways, and a white bait is sticking in its belly. I mean, it's plain as day. These smallmouth aren't easy to get a grip on sometime, and it sucks that 2 of them decided to give me a hard time at the side of the boat, and because of that, I'm being called or accused being possibly a cheater over it, and it's just a sucky situation that I don't want to be a part of.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's all just for somebody to get views on TikTok. And at the end of the day,
Yeah,
really, who gives a shit about your views on TikTok when you're talking about destroying a person's life? He's got a wife and 3 kids, and he's worked his butt off to have the career that he has. And any of us guys that know you, we know better. Spencer Sheffield doesn't have to cheat because he's just that dang good. I mean, you're a freaking hammer. You catch him everywhere you go.
Go easy on us, Spencer, from now on.
For real.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, even if you did foul hook one, you could throw it in the, throw it back in the water and come back in 10 minutes. There was one fish that Avena had jump off the morning of the championship round, and he came back a little while later, and you could tell the fish was foul hooked because it was just bulldogging and pulling. It wasn't coming up and jumping. And anybody that's ever been up there and caught a smallmouth, the first thing they do is come to the top, shoot out of the water. And my wife and I was watching. I was like, "Oh, that one's not going to count." I said, "That fish is foul hooked," because it was sitting there just digging. He finally gets it up. It's foul hooked. He unhooked it and threw it back. He went and fished some other fish and come back in an hour and sat down on her again and caught her. So, why do you have to cheat? You don't have to, because all you got to do is come back and try again, because she's going to bite again. Watching that, watching on live, there was a fish that See, Dudley caught it, Alton Jones caught it, and Dakota Abear all caught it. Same fish. You could see exactly by these pilings where they were fishing. It was the same fish. All three of them caught it. So that shows you right there, a smallmouth is different from a largemouth. You catch a largemouth, you get lucky if you catch her
They
twice.
caught it after. They caught it after Skeet had foul hooked it and turned it back loose.
Yeah, that was that was on the day before when Skeet he caught it. It was foul hook, turned it loose, and then a few minutes later, Dudley goes over and catches it. So
Yeah.
smallmouth are so aggressive. They'll just eat anything that gets in their bed. I mean, there was one that was caught that I can't remember which angler, but he counted 4 holes in the mouth of the fish. I mean, that fish had already been caught 4 other times. So
I saw some with more than 4 holes.
So
well, and that brings us back to the bigger question, though, is like, after the whole ordeal in 21 and the whole league getting destroyed and the anglers getting destroyed over, catch, weigh, and release smallmouth and catching the same ones over and over and over and over. I mean, somebody's got to be questioning themselves in Tulsa right now is why in the hell would you put yourself in the same scenario again? Because it does no good for the league, it does no good for our sport, and it damn sure puts everybody that's in the game in a precarious situation because you got to do what you got to do to compete. But it makes no sense to go back and do this over and over and over again. Y'all gonna deal with it again, St. Clair. I mean, there's going to be spawners up there, and I promise you're gonna deal with it again.
Yeah, that's definitely a big question there. Major League Fishing, their social medias, it got lit up before the tournament was ever over. But these guys here, y'all followed the rules, and now a bunch of guys are just getting hammered for following the rules. There was a time where Takahiro caught one off bed, and then wanted to back up and catch it again because you could catch it one time visibly a day. But there was no rule on how many times you could catch the fish not looking at it. And the reason being is if you're not looking at it, how can you really prove it's the same fish? And he actually had his marshal actually said that he couldn't and called into Daniel, and they said he couldn't catch it but once visibly, but there was nothing that prevented him from catching the fish more. So I think Major League Fishing put all anglers in a bad situation with this tournament scheduled when it was. It was great for live because there was a lot of fish caught, but in reality, there really wasn't a lot of different fish caught. And it was a bad situation for you guys, and I hate to see, there's guys that are getting hammered that I don't even know, and I feel bad for them because they just did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick to Spencer about social media. I got a pretty big social media deal since I was on TV and all that stuff, and I went through the same crap. People want to, they don't even know you. They don't know what kind of person you are. There are people that don't do anything and they sit behind a screen and they feel big and tough, and they want to pick on people. They want to accuse you of this. They want to make you look bad and try to make themselves look good. Spencer, I'm gonna tell you something. For every person that gets on social media and tries to degrade you, demean you, there's 1,000 that are in your pocket. There's only a handful of people on there that get this little power trip about thinking they're a big deal on social media when they're really not. And I want to tell you, I don't know if you remember, me and you had a discussion not too long ago. I think maybe it was at Dardanelle. Were you at Dardanelle, wasn't you?
Not this year. I think it was
Rayburn.
the Classic we talked.
Okay, maybe it was Rayburn. I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah.
I remember you telling me we had a talk, and you told me about how hard it took you to get where you're at, and you told me that's all you do. This is all that you want to do in your life. And so you got to keep being yourself, and don't let some pissant nobody on social media get under your skin to affect you. Everybody here knows that you're a good man, you're a good fisherman. We know your daddy was. I mean, it's like you're part of this Blazer family. Ain't nobody in this family right here that's bad people. And I think everybody
right.
here's got your back and go to bat for you. And I mean that. But social media, it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. And it took me like 10 years to really quit worrying about what people say and just lead by example, do your thing. And you're going to have people that love you and follow you, and they're the ones that's going to make you go further. the ones that are haters, don't even listen to them. Don't even waste your time on them. That's the best advice I give you.
Yeah.
Do your thing and just keep doing what you do.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You know,
a lot.
one of the things about social media that I've noticed over the years is it empowers the weak, because they're not going to come to your face a lot of times and say what they really feel or confront you about things, but they'll get on that keyboard and they'll make their little videos and type their little comments. But people like that, we all know they're weak, and
Absolutely.
We'll continue on and we'll keep doing what we're doing. We have a great team. We all support each other. We got T-Roy. He's in the center. He's in the center because T-Roy's famous.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So,
Hey, did you see that comment real quick by Dakota? T-Roy, how about them Cowboys?
I seen
Yeah,
that.
pop
shit,
that
so
up
I'm not
there,
gonna
Ricky.
acknowledge it.
Look at that, T-Roy.
Yeah.
T-Roy,
Yeah,
how
how
about them
about 'em?
Cowboys?
Yeah. What have they done in the last 30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he
I
was
gotta
going to do
admit,
that.
I get on social media and talk crap on them, but they deserve it.
Rice Smith, what's up, guys? New here. Man, Rice, thanks for stopping in, man. I hope you're enjoying things. I think we already have some questions popping up out there. If we want to start addressing them. Joshua Herding, he wants to know your guys' thoughts on catching giant smallies multiple times in the same day. Spencer, I'll let you go ahead and go with this one. Cody's vanished on us.
Well, in the situation, in the format we were in, it was a very misfortunate situation that we were put in as anglers, because I don't agree with it, but it was obvious by the weights. It was obvious by what guys had when your officials telling you their individual fish weight, that a lot of these guys were going back and catching the same fish over and over again. It was perfectly legal. I don't like it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's better than putting that same fish in the live well and toting her 45 miles back down the lake to largemouth country and weighing her in. And
Break it up on the Spencer. We lose you, Spencer. Man, that Potomac River's got great service, Cody.
It's terrible. I'm sorry, guys.
So, Spencer was just weighing in his thoughts, Cody. One of the guys asked, your guys' thoughts on catching multiple smallies, giant smallies, catching them multiple times a day. And Spencer was just weighing in his thoughts on that. So
yeah. For me, I never did. I thought it was a rule that you couldn't catch the same fish. So I just caught one and kind of moved on and kept going. It wasn't until after I heard you can visually not see him or something. I was so confused. I kind of just skirted around it and kind of kept looking. And ultimately, it probably cost me, because I had some one casters, 5.5 pounders, and I could have caught one, I would think, at any time that would have got me in there, but I never did. I had a blast though. I'm telling you guys, I just to catch a 5-pound smallie is awesome, and to catch multiple in a day, different ones, was so cool. And but yeah, it's a brutal, hard. It's a hard question, I mean, smallies are pretty stupid, really, when they're spawning, and so it make it easy to do for sure. And obviously, same fish were caught by a lot of different guys in a day, and you hear like Takahiro. I mean, who knows how many times he caught that one talk, but it's it's a rough one for sure.
yeah, definitely so. All right. Well, I don't have really any other good questions. Zach, Dakota saying you can just give him your boat. I'd say give it to him for the first 30 days, and then he can start making the payments on it.
Get a big deposit.
Yeah.
I got a question about about this flogger thing. I think is that what it's called, a flogger? Looks like
Yeah.
a road cone you'll stick in the water.
Yeah.
Loggers are good.
Yeah.
Is that all it's doing? Is just blocking the sun so you can see down in the water? Is that all the thing's doing?
Got a
Cuts the
lens in it.
glare on the water so
Yeah.
you can see like it was glass flat.
Yeah, it breaks the surface tension of the water.
Yeah.
Zach
I don't
Bird's
see how
welcome.
y'all. I sitting there watching somebody was looking through the flogger and he was trying to catch fish while they was looking through it. I was like, man,
It's really pretty cool. Spencer, you've done it a bunch too. It's you can actually, with a lot of smallmouth, get on top of them and you can watch them come up and eat. And I didn't do that. I used the flogger a ton this week, especially for those deeper ones in like that 7, 8, 10-foot range. But it makes it where it just cuts the glare and it looks glass flat and you can see so good under the water with even with like a chop or rollers going on.
It's kind of like when you put on like a pair of goggles in the swimming pool.
well,
Yeah.
how would that work down there
Yep.
where you fish there, T-Roy?
Yeah, I mean, but flogger down here is good for 6 or 7 inches, not 6 or 7 feet.
Hey, Spencer, we got to use the flogger on the
If
Potomac.
y'all watch what went on here last
Yeah,
week at the
for sure.
Sabine River, it's pretty brutal down here right now.
I'd rather be fishing Sabine River as you follow Oklahoma.
Well, I don't know. I'd rather be fishing here than anywhere, but it, it's pretty tough right now. It's hot, man. It's really hot right now, and they struggled. They struggled last week.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They had 44 pounds for 4 days. That was catching them, right?
Yeah,
That's right,
well,
man.
Zona called me
Smashed
on
'em.
Wednesday and asked me what I thought was going to go down, and I said, well, it'll be between 44 and 46 pounds, and nobody wanted to listen to that. Oh no, ain't no way. I said, no, it'll be 44, 46 pounds somewhere in there. Well, it was 44.10, and I started getting phone calls after. So, golly, how'd you know that? Well, I live here in my backyard.
Hey guys, Sean Braun's got a
Hey,
question.
T-Roy,
Hey,
if I lived there, I'd move.
yeah, well, I'm thinking about it.
Hey Ricky, Sean Braun has a question. Big smallmouth or big largemouth? What's y'all's preference? Lambert, would you rather catch big smallies or big largemouth?
Well, probably, honestly, I'd probably rather catch a big smallmouth. I mean, we get to catch big largemouth in the South all the time. I love going up north. We got St. Lawrence River next month, and it's just, I don't know, I guess it's because you catch a lot of big largemouth living down here. Getting to go up there and catch big smallmouth's kind of cool.
Yeah, them smallies, they fight. Oh, what about you, T-Roy?
Well, I ain't caught a lot of smallmouth, but the one time I really did catch quite a few was at Champlain, and pound for pound, they'll whip a largemouth butt in a heartbeat. It's pretty awesome to see the fight they got in them. They don't quit. It's a totally different deal. I'd probably say I when he said St. Lawrence River, man, I was like, man, I'd like to be going up there fishing up there, but this is my gator season coming up. Alligator eggs fishing start, so I'm always gonna miss out on the good times where the smallmouth spawn's going on. So I'm out on that.
Yep. Rhodey, I mean, we know you catch big largemouth down there. Do you ever catch any smallmouth anywhere? You ever go anywhere smallmouth fish?
No, sir. Haven't had the chance to even hook one, so I'm looking forward to doing that here pretty soon. So,
Well, we'll have to twist Cody's arm, man. He's got this little secret honey hole out there and out west, and he catches
talk
these
about it.
freaking 5, 6 pound, 7 pound smallmouth out there. We won't mention what state or any of that stuff because it's like top secret. But I know we're gonna do a deal this fall, man, where everybody's coming to converge on T-Roy's place down in the swamp, and we're gonna have some fun down there and do a lot of filming down there. And who knows, maybe we need to jump on a plane and go out west and go beat up on some of Cody's smallmouth.
Yeah, you wouldn't even take a photo of a 5-pounder there.
Yeah, I know.
Over 7.
Yeah, and people don't understand how big they are. Go to Cody's Facebook page and look at his profile picture. This smallmouth is like as big as my monitor here. It's huge. So,
What is there's a smallmouth fishery, Broken Bow?
Yeah.
Not far from here. I've been thinking about making a trip over there.
Zach shaking his
Yeah,
head,
Oklahoma.
going.
Isn't that 10 killer?
Yeah, no, broken bow's all right.
10 killer.
You need to go to 10 killer. Want to smallmouth?
Yeah.
You need to go to Lake Cayuga.
Yeah.
Chris Corner asked, "What about cameras like GoPro? Would that stop the BS legal call, etc.?" Most all guys have GoPros running on their boats. They're usually aimed toward the front of the boat. Lambert's got a 360. You've got a marshal in the boat. I mean, that's the check and balance of the day, in my opinion. The marshal's looking at it, he's paying attention, and he's seeing it better than a camera would see it.
It's a rule for us. We have to have GoPros running or some kind of personal camera running, and we've got to maintain footage for 2 tournaments. So we can't dump footage or anything until I get your third. Like if you start the season 1, you can't dump tournament 1 footage until tournament 3 starts. So, I mean, yeah, everybody should have any kind of footage or any kind of discrepancy that to be reviewed, and that's a rule.
Good rule. Carson Howland's on here. He's saying 10 killer easy. He's the only guy that I know that ever quit a practice day to go to 10 killer and catch fish, and then go back to the lake he was supposed to be fishing a tournament on. So,
shit, I may drive over there from here tomorrow. I may drive over there tomorrow.
Doesn't 10 killer feed the Illinois River that runs into Arkansas River?
It does.
Yeah. I remember fishing the Illinois River. That water was clear and cold, and there's stripers in there and all kind of stuff. It was pretty awesome. Only clear water I've seen up there like that.
Hey, don't mention stripers and get Izzy and Chris worked up.
Oh man, stripers are awesome. I wish we had more fisheries that would stock.
Come on up here.
Poor Izzy.
you gonna get Izzy saying bad words. So,
yeah. Stripers are bad.
Well,
look at Izzy.
We're getting close to the end here. We're not getting very many questions in. Definitely appreciate everybody that's come by tonight. That's awesome. We're looking at something this fall that's going to be something pretty special. We're gonna all go down to T. Roy's place and just have a good time and do some video for all the fans. And we won't talk a lot about it yet, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's gonna be something nobody else has done. I'll just put it that way without giving it away. Yes, Frankie, we're gonna go dance with each other because you won't come down there and dance with Izzy, so somebody's got to dance with you.
Absolutely.
We're gonna eat good. We're gonna partake in some adult beverage and shoot some hogs and
probably fire off a few thousand rounds of ammo and catch some fish for sure.
Yeah. Y'all don't have fish down there.
Nah.
Caleb Kelly, I'm going to look at the Blazer in Texas. Caleb, we've been trying to get you to go look at a Blazer for 6 months, man. Come on, get with it, bud.
Man, somebody getting raided or something.
Cody's up there by DC. That's Biden flying by.
Man, you ain't seen me dance.
Jordan, everybody needs to come see you for a boat.
Jordan don't work on boats anymore. He's building houses now.
Huh?
We said Jordan don't work on boats anymore. He's building houses.
There's my buddy Ricky.
I rode 4 up today.
Well, that's the first this month.
I sold a 625 walking out the door today.
Red one?
Ain't that right, Rhodey?
So Rhodey sold it. Good
Red,
job, Rhodey.
white, silver.
And who sold that boat?
No, Rhodey don't get that one.
Yeah, Rhodey sold it. Hey, Rhodey, ask him about the salesman's spiff sheet. All right, you need to ask him about the salesman's spiff. He's shorting you, bro.
He is.
Rhodey don't get that call. But we do have a really pretty blue 650 sitting in the front door.
Boy, that thing is sharp. There's a
Oh.
lot of people talking about that boat.
Hey,
Oh,
it's fit to be a Dallas Cowboy special down there here in about a month for
yeah,
sale.
yeah. T-Roy's getting ready to order his new one, and he's got a sharp boat, especially if you're a Cowboys fan like him.
T-Roy number 27.
Did I get to order your color
Oh,
again, T-Roy?
Or on the deck.
You tell, hey, I'm still mad at Frankie on that one, is he?
Hey,
Hopefully
T-Roy,
she's on there. She hears you.
do I get to pick out your boat color again this year?
No, no.
Gold.
I'm going
silver
with,
blue.
with one solid color like a charcoal.
We're going with yellow.
I'm going
Yellow.
green and blue stripes.
Green. What?
I have pride in my boats.
It would fit you, T-Roy.
Yeah, thanks.
Better order it this month to get a discount.
Yeah, no
That's
doubt.
right. That's right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's one of them things where I got a boat that I really don't want to get rid of. It. I mean, it runs great. Everything's just dialed in, and one of them things. I got everything ready to go on the new one. I just ain't pulled the trigger yet. So
Yeah, I
kind of
got mine for about another month. Mine's going to Texas next month, so I'm getting ready to order my new one and trying to pick out colors, man. I don't know. It's a hard thing to do when you change colors every year.
Yeah, I'll pick yours out for you, Chris.
That's all right. I'll pass. I will accidentally hit that fuchsia on your stripes.
Hey, fuchsia ain't bad. You put that with some
Well,
charcoal.
actually, instead of the stripes, we'll do charcoal stripes, but we'll do the hull and the deck fuchsia.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna wrap it anyway. Be all right. That's why I've gotten along so well with this boat. It's wrapped. It is a pretty boat, though. I'll say that. So.
Yeah, it's a sharp boat.
I got one question though. Does anybody have any idea what color Bird's going to order his boat next year?
I got an idea.
I would say maybe like some orange. And...
I'm working on it.
There's no doubt it's going to be charcoal and orange.
It's going to be Sooner colors, right, Zach?
We got a
Sooner,
new
yeah.
color.
We need to swap him over.
Hey,
we got a new base
need
color
to do a
coming.
contest. Who has the sharpest toys, trucks, boats, four-wheelers, everything? Birds would win
Just go
every
ahead and give it
class.
to Birds.
That dude has top of the line everything. It's pretty. I mean, like hell.
Caleb Kelly's talking smack, Birds. Caleb Kelly's talking smack. He's saying some Boomer Sooner stuff over here, Bird.
They're the word.
Sounds like one of y'all's in Ukraine with a tank battle going on.
Is that you, Spencer? Got the helicopter coming in on you?
You know, Cody is from California.
right now.
I figured he's flying over Cody. He knows he's from California and he's looking for a liberal.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh
dude.
Lord!
He wants me out here. He's looking for that. Oh.
Cody, that was like getting gut shot.
Cody
right
didn't practice yesterday. He went up to the Capitol for that event.
I went straight to it.
He's the one with the D-string on,
Man.
right?
Oh,
Yeah, he was the other topless one.
gosh, dang.
Did y'all see that
That was
No.
at the White House lawn?
Thank God I didn't.
It looked
Yeah,
like the village people out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah.
That's one
I'm
thing about us.
supposed
We
to be a
aren't
family
politically correct.
forum.
Constantly flying over.
Damn.
This group of guys isn't politically correct.
No. Well, it depends on whose opinion
No.
you're asking. Was that Cody in the tutu?
Oh, I think so.
I thought you were on my side here. We're supposed to gang up on T-Roy.
Dang.
At least Hey, at least he had the tutu on, not like the rest of them.
Les
Oh,
Forrest
gosh.
said, "Drink a Bud
Somebody's
Light."
drinking
baby.
Drink a Bud Light. Poor Cody.
Hey, just eat the whole bottle.
Hey, now,
Yeah.
Cody, Les is not very far from you. If you need him to bring you a Bud Light over, he'll run one by. He can go pick you up some.
Hey, I wouldn't drink one of those for nothing right now.
Well, what about later? Would you drink it later?
He's got to let it cool off a little bit first.
Oh, man. Zach, remember at Gunnersville?
Dude, no, yeah.
Okay. We got to. That's the inside joke, so we got to hear about this.
Yeah, we got to hear about this. That's you can't say something not tell the
Zach,
story.
you tell the story.
Nah.
Yeah, so we're at one of our sponsor event things. People out. Well, they feed us at night and have this open bar. We go up, Cody and I go up to get a drink, and I'm expecting Cody to get something, and I wasn't paying attention, and he snuck a Bud Light order in for the guy behind him, which was me.
Oh my god!
Like, no, I don't want a Bud Light. So I ordered something else. The chick that was serving was like 100%. She thought he was serious. Like, thought I was going to take it still. And that Bud Light sat there for like 3 or 4 rounds. We kept coming back. Just getting
Oh my god!
Finally, she was.
I literally said, "Hey, I'll get a Coors Light, and he'll take a Bud Light." She cracked it open and handed it to him. Zach's like, "I ain't touching that thing."
Cody, I don't see Cody as a professional drinker. I see Cody like knocked down drunk with a White Claw in his hand, throwing up on the side of the road.
Unbelievable. T-Roy. That's why we like that. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to respond to this.
Hey, prove me wrong this fall when we're out in the swamp. I mean, I've got every white liquor there is, every dark liquor there is. I got hey, you make your. We'll just see what you're made out of.
Hey, T-Roy, let me ask you.
Evidently, you got some leather chaps too.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's what I'm saying. T-Roy was holding a sign in leather chaps.
How does a French woman hold her liquor? By the ears. By the ears.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, I can see Cody on the back porch with my cats back there.
Dude, I want to meet your cat, man. That cat's a legend.
You're probably gonna have to, get a psychiatrist for your cat when he leaves.
Yeah, I have to have him get de-goofinized after Cody leaves.
Yeah.
That cat's badass, man.
Cody gets to sleep in the doghouse, right?
Dude, I don't even know if I can come, man. You guys are gonna just crucify me.
Oh gosh, we're gonna have to call Terry.
I'm coming down.
Hey, Zach, you think
arm wrestle T-Roy?
Hey, he'll be able to hang out there, huh, Zach? Hey, just think, I'll shoot him with Roman candles out the window.
I don't need.
I was thinking more like a golf ball.
Yeah, golf balls too.
Hey, I want to shoot a hog down there.
I was getting shot at with Roman candles.
T-Roy, can we shoot a hog? I want to get a big pig down there.
Man, I got a bunch of pigs. I'm about to go put my feeder back out. They're all over.
I've never shot a hog or caught a redfish or a speckled trout.
You can probably do all three right within a mile from my place over there.
I was gonna say you probably do all that.
I live in Arkansas. I've never done any of it.
I guarantee you in October, if there's no rain, we could load up an airboat and go right behind my lodge into the outfall canal and catch specks and reds right there within sight of my lodge.
Isn't a redfish just a drum?
Yeah.
Red drum is redfish.
They taste about like a drum too.
Yeah.
Trash fish.
Yep.
We ain't got to eat them. We'll have plenty of food. We'll be doing a lot of chicken wings.
No.
Shrimp.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we got shrimp, gumbo.
It's like a Gasper goo.
Gasper goo.
Yeah, Gasper goo. I'm all out on that.
That's what Jordan eats.
Hey. Don't be talking about that.
Jordan eats hot dogs sideways.
Long ways.
I'm just wondering if Jordan will be able to come with us.
No. You know the rules.
Hell
You know
no.
that's not happening. Not after Nashville.
No.
He can't leave the house. She drives him to work and back.
Rhodey,
Yeah, he's got an
I know
ankle
if-
bracelet on
I
now.
think if Rhodey doesn't wreck no more cars, he'll be able to go too.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You may have to
Oh,
take
that's
a
another
bicycle.
thing.
Hey, when Donnie Baker calls you out on the internet, you know you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I still feel that impact.
Has Amanda bought you an e-bike
Hey.
yet? Or?
No.
Jason, I'd rather eat them sideways than long ways.
Well, I eat them however how you give them to me, son.
I hear
Hey,
you.
y'all. Who knows? Maybe Jordan will let us all come out there and like shoot some axis and red stag and stuff while we're down, you know?
Ooh.
Jordan be like, no speak English, no speak English.
Look at Jordan's eyes going, I didn't hear that one.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I was glitching. What did you say about red stags?
Well, while we're down there this fall for this deal we're going to do, we're all going to be down there at T-Roy's and we're just going to head over to your place and I'll kill red stag and axis for a day.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's already showed me where they're
Peace
at.
out.
We're good.
That was awesome. God,
Yeah, he gone.
Spencer don't know what he stepped into when he stepped in this group.
Oh, heck.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, look here.
What?
Yeah, we know. We know. I've done seen them. You've done showed me where they are.
No, that was the other day. Look here.
Yeah, I know. I seen that picture the other day. Yeah,
What
we
is
know. It's back straps.
So it's gonna be like 8 of us. So you got 8 of them picked out, Jordan.
That's a 150 quart cooler. Look at that thing. That's some back straps.
We know. We're coming this fall.
Oh yeah. We get T-Roy to cook.
We know. We just set up
That
up
sound
on
like he's
Terry's
agreeing.
porch, and I'll bring the 338 with me.
I'm bringing one too.
Yeah.
I shoot him with 22.
Awesome.
Well, guys, I know Spencer and Cody, wherever the heck Cody went,
Yep.
Biden must have got there and got him. So, well, I guess Spencer and Lambert, y'all got practice due tomorrow and figure out some fish. You know, Lambert, do we need to ship you some dynamite? Let's take the dead fish penalty or what?
Dude, we need to put some dynamite on the dam of this place and blow it out and plant corn.
There you go.
No. Well, guys, man, appreciate y'all being here. Spencer's going to be on here from now on with us as
Awesome.
we're growing the crew. We're going to try to get back to that once a month deal. I know we all got busy there right after the Classic, and Israel and I were at Kentucky Lake, and everybody was just kind of scattered. And we got behind on the crew, but we will be here once a month from now on out. And we'll try to advertise it a little bit ahead of time as well. And Spencer, man, thanks for joining on with us. And we're going to have a lot of fun moving forward, guys. Team Blazer, going to be some big things happening this fall. So,
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
all right, Jordan, sell a 650 tomorrow.
Good luck to the guys fishing this week. Hope y'all kill them.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Woo.